This is Sunil with Top Preps. Today, I'm happy to be speaking with Amanda Lopez, first-year head coach for the Somerset Academy High School softball team, the Florida Gold 16 and 18U team, and will be the assistant coach this summer for the Puerto Rican TCI international team. Once again, Coach Lopez, thank you so much again for taking time out to speak with me today. I really appreciate it. And look, congrats on your success.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for taking your time too.
Hey, no rest for the weary. You know,
No, sir. Up and at 'em.
Consistently on the go here.
Always at the fields.
Hey, let's talk about first Somerset Academy High School first year. A big transition for you. And
Absolutely.
undertaking, Coach Lopez. So let the viewers out there know just how everything is panning out so far for you.
Yeah, for sure. So, again, my first year at Somerset Academy, I was actually told in the interview that, we have a few, like, we're a newer team, we have newer girls. I show up to the first day of workouts and I got girls hitting balls off the wall. So I'm like, this isn't new. These aren't beginners or whatever. So, I have a really young team. I'm mostly consisted of 7th and 8th graders. I got nothing above a sophomore, but young is good because young is, you're able to mold, you're able to teach, and that's the biggest thing that I do think a lot of people have forgotten about this game, that they're still growing up and they're still you got to teach them. They're like sponges right now. You tell them one thing and they're going to try to do the best they can to do that one thing exactly how you said it. And I think it starts from that age. Like right now I have a shortstop. She's in 7th grade. And do I think that some of these girls are going to grow up to be All-Americans? Am I biased because I'm their coach? Probably. But but I do think that, I got a lot of talent on this young team. And don't ever be afraid of young. I've putting them up against seniors that are, on their way to college already. And they've held their own. So I couldn't be more proud of the way the season is panning out right now. We're going into districts this week. So it's win or go home. And, we're really going to see what they're made of here, and, the grit that they have. And I think it's gonna go pretty well, and it's good for them to see that type of competition and everything. And they have surpassed my expectations, so anything from here is a plus.
That's wonderful. Hey, what for you personally made Somerset Academy High School the perfect fit, Coach Lopez?
So I'm very, very young. So a lot of that scares a lot of people and it scares a lot of schools. I've played this game in college, and I've been coaching now for the better part of 8 years.
Yeah.
I started when I was 15. So seeing me show up to an interview, rather than some of these veteran coaches and everything, people don't really think like, hey, no one wanted to take a shot on me, essentially. And not that, I've gone to 30 interviews and they all turned me down. That's not the case either. It's just Somerset really gave me my first shot, my first opportunity to go out there and and to coach these girls in a high school level. And it is a different ball game than travel. It's they're both equally as competitive, but it's different. It's different seeing these teams that are just like stacked and these teams that are not so stacked. It's a different ball game out there. But they gave me the opportunity, and I do think that I've shown what I've got. I put my girls up against the best of the best. So that one opportunity was really all I needed, and I kind of fell in love with the girls as soon as I met them, because again, they're young and they're hungry. They just wanted to be out there and they wanted to play. So it was really the girls for me that solidified not only this season but seasons to come. Because people, we could be one and done if things went really, really wrong this season, but everything went right for me. The girls, the school's been great. It was just the whole administration and everything, where it kind of all just worked for me.
Yeah. No, it's fantastic that because it's important to build that foundation, that culture, and that
Of
winning,
course.
I said mentality, because as you said, you're dealing with very, said young kids, and
Yeah.
again, you know, you get into let's say a losing streak or something, that sort, it can really, it can backfire and it can really wear on a team and on a
Absolutely.
player. But the fact that they've been able to, as you said, surpass your expectations is fantastic. And you talked about the administration, athletic department. We know it takes the entire village, really, I said
Absolutely.
to again have that winning, team. Just talk about that, just in terms of that setup, from the administration, athletic department as well, and
Yeah,
facilities too.
for sure.
Yeah.
So the athletic director, he's this is his first year as well. He was the
Okay.
assistant athletic director last year. And we really worked together in terms of like what we got, like everything we gave to the girls. So I played myself, and I'm a firm believer, if girls don't look good, they don't feel good, they don't play good. So
Mhm.
last season, they had an interim coach that did the best he could, with what he had and everything.
Mhm.
But this season, I really, me and the athletic director, we worked hand in hand, and we got the girls bags, we got the girls matching helmets, we got the girls on the uniforms, and just me and him working together on that, it's kind of just, it's refreshing, because I know a lot of these other schools, and no one in particular, but I know a lot of these other schools, it's it's hard to get some of that stuff, because whether it be monetary wise, or whether it be they just don't want to do it, like the department just doesn't want to do it. But he has been nothing but helpful, in that sense of, hey, whatever you need to build this program, because in order to make money, you have to spend money.
Mhm.
So in order for to continue to get this outcome from the girls, we had to give him a little bit. So he's been nothing but helpful. Even the teachers, it's a big change when you go from a season that they played maybe 8 or 9 games, to now we're playing upwards of 20 games.
Yeah.
And that's getting out of class early, that's helping them out with missing assignments, or with like giving them assignments early. And as someone who is now working in like the school board with them, I have to side with the school board, and anything they needed, I had to have their back, because when I needed something, they had my back.
Yeah.
So when I needed the girls to get out of class at 12 o'clock, that's the middle of the day. So and no one's really given me any pushback, because they are students before they're athletes, and I needed the administration to help me out, and I needed to help them out. So I think us working hand in hand together, it showed Somerset as a whole, we are unified, and we are like, we work together, and we're not just a bunch of individuals doing whatever we want. There is a cause to all of the chaos.
Yeah.
So I think the administration, the school, they've been nothing but great, helping me out with a first year program. And that, I do think the girls, they see that, and they like, that causes people to want to come back to school, and to want to, they want to show up to class now, and because, hey, I have a game today, I have to show up to these classes, and it's not pulling teeth anymore. So us working hand in hand together, really, it really helped. And I think I couldn't be any more grateful to the school, for a lot of reasons, but definitely for helping me build this program, because again, it takes a village.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. So super grateful to them, to everyone on staff, because they really helped us out.
Yeah, no, excellent points, Yuri. That was going to ask you about the role of a student athlete, and because
Yes.
it's so important to maintain those grades, and
Oh
said
yes.
being able to build up that knowledge as well inside the classroom. Hey, talk so walk me through what does a daily schedule entail for you, Coach Lopez?
So I actually work nights. So
Okay.
so let's say a Monday morning, I'll wake up around 7:30. I do what I have to do here. I eat some breakfast. I'm out of the door by noon, whether it be running errands for the my travel team or my high school team.
Mhm.
I got practice at 4 o'clock. From 4 to 6, from 6:30 to 9, I go straight to my travel practice. So high school from 4 to 6, from 6:30 to 9 travel, and then I go to work at 11 o'clock, and I do it
Wow.
all over again the next day.
Yeah, it's a lot of commitment and dedication. Hey,
Yeah.
talk about, as we know, it's 24/7, 365 in terms of also the strength and conditioning and preparing for a season. Talk about, before this all came together this year, just in terms of get everybody on the same page. And I just wanted to ask you about that, Coach
Oh
Lopez.
yeah, yeah. So our season officially, tryouts were January 24th.
Okay.
Um, from January 3rd, which is the day that the girls come back from winter break, we jumped right into conditioning.
Mhm.
I chose to do 3 times a week for those I think there was 3 or 4 weeks following up to the 24th. I chose to do those 3 times a week. And it's tough. It's mentally you have to be very, very, very ready for what's about to happen, because
Mhm.
it's not only running, it's not only doing a lot of agility. It's not only that, it's right now you're putting, you're dividing your time between school and, I'm sure some of the other girls, they were still in travel. So between school, travel, and softball, and like school softball, you're there's only 24 hours in a day, and you're
Yeah.
splitting your time, like exercising, running. And if you don't take care of yourself, I've my biggest thing is you have to take care of your bodies, because this is all you have.
Yeah.
This is what you have if you want to go out and play college softball and everything. This is what your body is, your holy mecca, whatever.
Mhm.
Um so I told them almost every day, like, you should be icing, you should be stretching. After every conditioning we ever did,
Yeah.
we stretched, because I can't have someone pull a hamstring before we even hit the dirt.
Yeah.
But I was never big on distance running. As a collegiate athlete, also, I was never big on that. But you need it. You need to build that stamina. You go 7 innings no matter what. So you need to be able to give 100 when you have zero. And that was my biggest motto during these conditioning days. When you are absolutely tired, and when your body's given out, you need to be able to give 100,
Mhm.
because that's what sets you apart from a lot of these other teams and a lot of these other girls. When you got nothing left in the tank, you got to give something. So
Yeah.
that conditioning, those conditioning days really helped us get into 7 inning games 3 times a week. And I think that's what it is. It's just building the stamina. So we conditioned quite a lot, but you got to make it fun for the girls, because this isn't a job yet. When you get to college, this is your job, but right now this isn't a job. This is something that, as a coach, you have to, there's a very thin line between fun and, like, between them having fun and them coming out here and just doing a job.
Mhm.
And right now you got to skate that line, and make sure that they they are disciplined, but they're having a ton of fun. And I think that's what I try to do throughout the season. Just make sure that they walk a straight line, but they're having a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
that's all it's about.
I agree. I know, again, excellent points you made. And the fact that I think another thing is just building on top of that is the mental aspect as well. And then nutrition as well. I mean, there's so many things, that go into it, but I think having that all set in place, again, contributes to,
Yeah.
success on the field as well,
Oh, of
Coach
course.
Lopez.
Of course.
Hey, let's transition to, of course, the travel team, the Florida
For
Gold,
sure.
16-18U. You pointed out in your message to me, highly ranked. Said a lot of colleges looking at your team, and winners of the Atlanta Legacy Tournament. So, just if you want to talk about, I mean, again, enjoying immense success with that, and being able to flourish on the field. If you want to talk about that as well, Coach Lopez.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So So my travel team, just the same as my high school team. Before I even talk about them as athletes, I'm gonna talk about them as people because
Mhm.
they are just a ton of fun to be around. And they kind of make your job a lot easier. Um, because if I'm having fun, they're having fun. They're as people, they're just fantastic people up and down. Right now I'm consisted of I have two 2022s. Um, I don't know if I can say names here, but
Okay.
I got two 22s, both committed to one's committed to Stetson University and one's committed to Hamilton College.
Mhm.
Um, they are just fantastic people and fantastic athletes, all in all, and they worked really, really hard to get where they are. And they had a ton of fun doing it. Um, Going into their background a little bit, before they got to Florida Gold, they weren't having a lot of fun, and they one of them even told me that they were ready to give it up. And knowing that, like, that you put the love back into a little girl,
Mhm.
like that, it's very humbling. But and now they're going off to college, so it's super nice to see. um but those are my 22s. I have one 2023 shortstop. She's stacked. She's got a fluid swing. She's smooth on the with her hands. She's very soft hands. She's gonna do great things for me, and for herself. Majority of my girls are 2024s. um and they just like to play. Like, it's they just really, like, they work super hard, and they just love to play this game.
Mhm.
I've got a few schools looking at a few of my 2024s now. And my 2023, this is her first season with me. But a few schools looking at my 2024s, and they kind of like, and again, I'm their coach. Maybe it sounds biased, maybe it doesn't, but they excel under that pressure because
Mhm.
this is their first time going through stuff like this. Having a scout sit back there and clock my pitchers, or having like me going out talking to these coaches, whatever. It's just kind of really cool to them. And I think that's what's going to help them in the long run, because you know you're not nervous about it. Like, like, I know when I was in high school, I would see a lot of these scouts, look at me and everything, and that's a little nerve-wracking. But they thrive off of it, like, that, hey, like, they're actually like coming to look at me or whatever. So I think it's going to do they're going to do great things this summer. We got a big year planned for us, because this is a big year for 2024s,
Mhm.
and 2023s. So we got a big year ahead of us, and I think they are super excited. A lot of them play for great high school teams. So I see most of their games and everything, and they're just super excited to be out there with Florida Gold again. And it's like, hearing that as a coach, it's very humbling, because
Yeah.
they're excited to be in your presence. They're excited to be with their girls again. But if I were to say one thing about this team, is they're just very gritty. Like, no matter the situation, they can be down 5, they can be up 1, and they're just gonna go out there and they're gonna play the game. And they're I do pride myself on, I do think that me and my assistant coach, his name is Kyle Santana.
Mhm.
um I think we've done a great job in teaching them the game, that they think, I'm a big chess player, and they think moves ahead. And they of course, like every softball player, you should be thinking what you're going to do with the ball and everything, and
Yeah.
they think like 3 moves ahead. And I'm like, it's awesome to see, because a lot of collegiate athletes, that's the same thing they do. um and I think it's awesome, because it's softball IQ needs to be taught.
Yeah.
And because they don't know everything, I don't know everything. So we're all learning, we're growing up together. So I think that's what sets them apart from some other teams, is that they're very strategic, and they look at where the batter holds the bat, or where they are in the box, or if an outfielder keeps shifting, that's where the pitch is going, obviously.
Mhm.
So they look at that kind of stuff, and it's hard to always monitor that. So I'm really glad that they've kind of taken the baton a little bit, and they look at that stuff, and they see my pitchers. I'm very open in pitch calling, because you're looking at the batter like face to face, and you know yourself, like, hey, maybe this pitch won't work, but this pitch would. So I do feel like they see that and they take it upon themselves, and that's softball IQ, looking at the game in front of you and making sure, like, hey, this won't do it, but I think this will. And as a coach, you have to be open to that also, because this isn't a dictatorship. We're all learning together. Yeah. So I think the softball IQ in them, it's only growing, and I think they're gonna have a great year. And they're just super fun to be around. Like, even aside from the athlete part, like they're awesome. Yeah. And I even have some 2025s that they're having breakout years in high school, and in last season in travel. It's just super fun. It's super fun. And as a coach, it's hard to find. I got a roster of 16 right now, and it's hard to find 16 girls that gel together. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what they do. They gel. They love to be around each other. It's a super fun environment. And they know how to turn it off too, because it's all fun and games until it's game time, and you have to learn how to flip that switch. And they've took some trial and error, but they have learned to turn it off, and to turn it on and turn it off when it comes to, once you hit those lines, it's game time, and you're playing to win. That's all it is.
No, I agreed. That's terrific to hear that, having those fundamentals pat down, because again, in game situation, everyone has to be on the same page, and that's really cool to see. And I want to ask you as well, I know you coached also, I think, the Florida Black team at the 12U level as well, number one ranked team in the nation. I mean, that, yes, we were. Congrats on that. I mean, just talk about that, I mean, again, when you really look back, that's something, I'm sure you're very proud of as well.
Yes, I am. So we started Florida Power with, I actually started it with, my dad started it. Mm-hmm. And it was me, him, and my brother. So it was a whole family affair. And we started out with, kind of girls that nobody wanted. Nobody wanted to, whether it was a lot of work, or whether it was, they didn't think they had it in them. So we took kind of all the scraps down here in South Florida, and we taught them, and we let them take it from there. My brother played collegiate ball also. My dad has been coaching for upwards 20 years. So and I was still in high school actively playing. So when you look at the staff that we had, we weren't professionals, but if we taught the girls, like, that this game, love and like competitiveness need to coexist, and you need to be able to really like buy into the environment that we're building here. So and these girls, they had been rejected from other teams. They had been, they had gone to upwards to like 10-15 tryouts, and no one else wanted them. And we were just starting out. We had just come from my sister's a pitcher, so we had just come from our rec season. And we're thinking, rec, okay, it's a lot different. She had played travel before and everything, but we're like, we want to take over. We think we can do something great with these kids. So we took it on, and we started off pretty rough, first time all together, whatever. But I've always said, if the girls don't know you, they don't like you, they don't respect you, and they won't perform for you. Mm-hmm. So we got really, really close with these girls, and everything we said, they really took it into consideration, and we just taught them the game. And we were like, athleticism is always going to take over, as long as like the basics and even the more advanced, like what to do with a ball if it's hit to you, like you're gonna get it done. And we started off shaky, and then we turned it on, and we went on a run. And all of a sudden, like we're beating, at the time we were 12s, we're beating 14 and 16U teams. And people ask us all the time, like, hey, like that was one of the best teams you guys had or whatever, like, hey, why'd you give it up or whatever. um at a point, my dad, he was like, I'm ready to retire. And I was like, Dad, I get it. So me and my brother, we were like, can we do this like by ourselves or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time we didn't want to do it without my dad. So we built it up. We ended it on the highest note we could. We were ranked the #1 team in the nation, and just a few girls that nobody wanted, and that nobody wanted to take the time on. And we all of a sudden, like, the rankings came out, and we're getting like phone calls, and they're like, hey, you guys are ranked. And I was like, oh, what are we ranked? And they're telling us, and they're like, yeah, they're like, you guys have like a powerhouse. And I was like, well, we always knew that. It's just no one else wanted to give these girls. I had a shortstop that was like 4 feet tall, and she's throwing people out from the 5-6 hole. And like, it's just, it was good to see, because like, not only it had nothing to do with us, it had everything to do with the girls, that they proved a lot of people wrong. And it wasn't supposed to work as well as it did. So when that ranking did come out, and we were ranked #1, we were like, yeah, we knew that. Like, yeah, we knew we were a good team and everything, but no one else wanted to give them the time of day. And I think it's awesome to see that they proved a lot of people wrong. And and they learned a ton. And I still speak to some of those girls. They talk to me about grades, they talk to me about, like, what's going on in life. And I think it's awesome, because every time they do see us, they, their face lights up, and they, like, we did change a few lives. Like, things weren't going great for some of these girls, and now they they're still here, they're playing. Mostly all of them still play high school and everything. So it's awesome to see that we were able to make that type of impact on them. And they also got some notoriety for it. #1 team in the nation is hard to come by, and they did it all themselves. So I owe everything to them, because they really jump started my career. And and they were just awesome. They were another great group of girls to be around. So
that's great. Yeah, it's always good to have that underdog mentality. I said,
exactly.
People again don't believe in you, and I said, they said taking it, giving these girls that opportunity, that the fact that I said no one else wanted to, and be able to turn that around. That's again tremendous. And you talked about this being a family affair, coaching with your dad, Rec at West Pine, West Pines for 3 years. Back-to-back championships, just, runner-up last year. Just talk about how special that was,
Oh, it was awesome. We argued a lot, I'm not gonna lie. We did argue a lot. But it's just the fact that we always thought about the same things, and we took every game like, it was the last. And my dad's the type of guy, I'll say it, and it doesn't make sense. He says it, it's gold. So we argued a lot in the dugout, but at the end of the day, we're saying the same things, and we want the same goal. But it was super fun. Like, it was something that I could never. That it's one of my core memories. Coaching out there with him, being there with him. It was something I could never get back, and something that I'd never want to lose. Even today, I'll come home from a loss or from a win, and it's what could you have done better? And that's awesome, because you need that balance, that yin and yang. And that's what he was to me and my brother. He was our mentor. He was our, he was everything. In the dugout, we disagreed, but it was always for coaching purposes. It was never like, hey, you're wrong because you're wrong. Like, no, I think, maybe we should go this route. And we would always find, that happy medium, that compromise. But it was something that I would never give up in a million years. And he taught us everything we knew about the game and everything. And to be on the other side of the fence with him was just awesome. It was just super. Like, I wouldn't give it up for anything.
That's great. Hey, just a couple more. Just wondering when it comes to coaching, women's softball. You as said been doing it now for what 8 years now, and seen the growth of the sport. And how much it's evolved over the years and changed. Just what again? What is it about it that makes it special? I mean, just maybe whether you're said in the dugout, on the practice field, off the field, just some of the intangibles, Coach Lopez.
Um, Coaching women's sports, it's it's just something that I never thought I would be doing, because I am a woman. I know how hard women are, and but they play with that type of, I'm not even supposed to be here, so I'm gonna give it everything I got.
Yeah.
And women, whether it be political, whether it be the pay rates, whether it be anything, we've as a whole, we're not even supposed to be in the conversation as of athletes. I know collegiate athletes right now, they're so good at this sport, and if they were men, they would be in high rises and $1 million mansions. And the fact that they're not, I think that drives them, and I think that shows them that you're not supposed to be here, so why not give it your all, and why not just go out there and do what you have to do and just have a ton of fun. And I think women, they know that there's a cap. One of my best friends, she's at her 5th year in college, and is she thinking about going professional? No, she knows that I've got a few more weeks here. So and I think for men, the ceiling is a little bit. And again, I'm not comparing the two. Like, I don't want to compare the two. I don't want to get into any of that. But there's a professional, there's whatever. And in softball, the professional is the pick of the litter. Like, you got to be the best of the best. So I think we play so hard and we have so much fun because we know there's an end at some point. Softball isn't everyone's life. Like, you're not like, everyone's not going to play professional softball and everything. So I think there's an end. There's an end to the love, you're gonna put on your cleats for one last time. And I think that's why we play so hard and so gritty. I think we go out and we just have a ton of fun. And I think, and men too, men, they go out and they do whatever they have. But in women's sports, I think again, I think we're not even supposed to be in the conversation, so we play like it's our last. And I think it's awesome. I think all women in any sport, men or women, I think that's how it should be. You go out and you play the hardest you can, like it's your last game.
Yeah. Another serious topic, and I just wanted to get your take on it, has been, mental health. And, we've seen that sadly, here recently in college softball with, I think it's 3 or 4 athletes, I think maybe now 4 that sadly have taken their own life. And I want to ask you, I'm sure that's something I, has said, you thought of maybe have addressed with the team, or just wanted to get your, just your opinion on that as well, Coach Lopez.
No, of course. Yeah, it's a conversation that a lot of people don't like to have. They don't like to get, serious with their players and everything. And is it understandable? Yes. Is it unacceptable? Yes, because you are the first line of defense, especially from a student athlete standpoint. Like, these girls see you the majority of their lives, and the majority of their days are spent with you. All summers are spent with you. And I think it has to be talked about. And I think as a student athlete, no one talks about the pressure that, not only from sports, but from school, to be able to balance all of that. And I think there sometimes there are telltale signs and sometimes there aren't. And that's why I do think you have to talk to all of your athletes about mental health and about what being a student athlete is, especially at especially in the collegiate level. Being a student athlete it's not all rainbows and sunshine. Sometimes it gets ugly, and sometimes you feel like you're alone, and you feel like, I can't talk to my coach about this. I can't talk to my teammates about this, because, you get into a dark place, and you get into, I'm alone and I have to figure this out because hundreds of other girls are going through the same thing, or boys, some hundreds of other boys are going through the same thing. There's thousands of student athletes, but not every case is the same. And, not everyone is as, tough and can take a lot of things, and, and not tough, but like it's, sometimes it wears you down, and it's okay to not always be okay, especially as a student athlete, because you have to talk these things through, and don't ever feel alone. Like I said, I talked to some of my previous girls still about, about life, whether they had a hard childhood or not, or whether, they're going through some things. I think I said in the beginning, love and competitiveness have to coexist, because some girls feel super, super alone, and there's nothing you can, not a lot that you can say that'll make them feel less alone, but you just have to be there. If you're there with them, and, no one really talks about, being a student athlete and being under that rigorous pressure, going to 6 a.m. workouts, straight to class, straight to practice, and then straight back to class. You barely have time to eat, barely have time to shower. So, that's a lot of pressure, especially, 17, 18-year-olds, and no one talks about it. And I think that's a conversation that has to be had with all athletes. And everyone wants to be the change, but no one wants to do the work.
Yeah.
So I do think that that's a very big issue in today's athletes. And that conversation, although it may be a tough one, and you have to have it, because we continue to lose student athletes, and no one really knows why, but they do know why. Everyone knows the answer. It's just, a lot of things get in the way of being a student athlete and everything. And it's just a conversation that should be had, and more coaches need to talk about it, and need to, when you're yelling at a girl, or when you're trying to motivate them, it should be coming from a place of love and not anger, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think everyone should be having the conversation, whether you're an athlete or not. Mental health is a big thing now, and always. So I think that's definitely a conversation that needs to be had.
Yeah, and I think it was also with the COVID-19 pandemic, which we're still in the midst of, no matter what, I think also played such a critical factor in it as well. I mean, that isolation as well. I mean, a lot of, players, didn't matter what year you were. I mean, you felt felt badly for the seniors, especially, but even for the freshmen, sophomores and juniors as well. Hey, the final one, or the last two, is that, you're going to be the assistant coach of the Puerto Rican TCI international team this summer. That's got to be a sense of pride and joy for you. I had to ask you about that. So I definitely wanted to give you that opportunity to talk about that as well.
Yes, it is. I was, it's just the opportunity given. I do want to give a little shout out to Willie Verrett. He's the coach of Doral High School. I actually approached my dad, hey, I was gonna be in Colorado anyway. And he was like, have her come on and, call pitches. My saving grace is calling pitches. I was a catcher, so, calling pitches is something I'd love to do. Sorry. And he's like, hey, just bring her on, and, let's do this thing together. And it's just, I think we're gonna have so much fun. And being able to represent, like Puerto Rico, and, my dad was ecstatic. My parents were super happy, and then seeing all these girls from different states, whether it be, down here in Florida, whether it be up in, California, wherever, come together, and we're meeting each other at Colorado, like in the hotel, which I think it's super fun, because that's how you grow the game. You continue to meet new people, you continue to whatever. I'm coaching with a staff that I've never coached with before, and I think any opportunity to kind of build connections, to kind of build other coaching styles, I think it's only going to benefit the whole, and it's only going to benefit the game. And I was actually just looking at the international website. They have all the teams, all the girls and everything, and it's kind of awesome to see. I didn't even know softball was this big. Like they have a Great Britain team, and they have a South Korean team, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this is pretty awesome. It's a little like you get a little taste of the Olympics.
Yeah.
I think it's super cool that that programs like this exist. When I was in high school, whether they existed or not, I really don't even know. So I think it's awesome to be able to see all these cultures come together and just play the game. And I think that's how it should be. And down there in Colorado, I'm gonna be playing against some of my girls that are on different cultures or whatever. I have a few girls on the Cuban team, some girls on the Central American team. So I think it's gonna be really really fun. And just to see how big this game really is, it's humbling, because you're looking at teams from all around the world that are just, and for our cultures all around the world, that it's awesome. I would have never imagined this game being that big, but it is. And a lot of people, they don't really know that, and me myself, I didn't know that. But it's super fun. It's going to be super fun. The coaching staff, where I think we're going to gel together great. The girls, girls are easy. They see each other, and you make one play in the field and you're besties for life. So I think it's going to be super fun. I am actually super proud that I was able to get on such a prestigious tournament and everything. And again, thank you to Willie, because he just again took a shot on me, and he was just like, let's go win a gold, which is exactly what we're planning to do, hopefully. But I think it's going to be super fun, and it's awesome to be able to represent my heritage and everything, and hopefully we bring Puerto Rico something.
Yeah, no, it's outstanding to have that diversity, and it's truly a global game. And even before we came on there, we're talking about social media, and you look at for the athletes, all the training videos, and how they're able to really dissect and break down their game. But the fact that here, I'm sure this is going to gain a lot of notoriety, and that it will be well advertised, and it'll be good to see all these kids and the coaches get that platform to just highlight their skills.
No, of course.
Coach Lopez, you get the last word. That's what I always do in my interviews, in terms of just final message of family, friends, for the players, the schools that you've been at, and especially currently right here with Somerset Academy High School, and even with now the Puerto Rican TCI international team. So I give you the floor, Coach Lopez.
Yeah, no, I want to thank you. I want to thank Top Preps for even having me on this interview. Where what we're trying to do, the environment we're trying to build and everything. It's I think a lot of teams, I think they're starting to do that. They're starting to show a lot more love, and and because the girls will perform for you. They will come through for you if you hit them when you need to hit them, and then you love them when you need to love them. So I do think I'm doing the best of my ability in those terms. And I think, again, not even speaking about my girls as athletes, but as people, they're super fun to be around. And and that's all it's about. It's just people helping people, and I do this voluntarily all my life. So I think as a former collegiate athlete, more collegiate athletes should get into this, because exactly what it entails. So I think to my girls at Somerset, thank you for everything, really, for again, my first opportunity as a high school coach. For my girls at Florida Gold, I owe them everything as well. And to any girl that I've coached in the past, I still think about them, and I still make sure I still follow them. I'm on Game Changer 24/7. Softball is what we do. So to any girl that I've ever coached, to any coach that I've ever coached with, it's just, this is definitely all for you guys. And I'm just super humbled that I'm able to have the opportunity to talk to you guys and to kind of share my story a little bit and my growth story. So thank you to you and to Top Preps again um for everything you guys have done today.
Thank you, Coach Lopez. An incredible honor and privilege. And again, wishing you continued success.
Thank you.